Welcome everyone to a special video. I have launched a new business sideline to sell spare parts for the AC 2-litre Saloon and Buckland. I have a mix of new and new old stock plus second-hand. I have a full e-commerce store set up, which can be found via my long-established ac2litre.com site. For new parts, I want to avoid any cheap imports. I have fitted handmade, mostly British parts to my AC, and that will be the theme for what I sell to other owners. Here are some brake parts, service kits for cylinders, brake hoses. The front hoses for ACs with mechanical rear brakes are unique to ACs and were made to order for me. And gaiters for the rear mechanical brakes, new speedo cable and rev counter cable. These are listed as for right-hand drive cars, but it really depends on which end of the dashboard the dials are. My own idea for upgrading the fuel filler hose, the original is a thick rubber coupling hose. This one is lined with nitrile rubber and is specifically made for this purpose. It has thin walls and steel wire, so it is more flexible. Speaking of upgrades, the top radiator hose has always been a problem. It's a 2-inch bore hose that is little more than 2 inches long. Since the AC engine is so tall, there is a lot of movement under torque reaction, which is why this shape of hose was originally fitted. I've not found any since the 1980s, and back then I did what many did and fitted a straight hose. Then my corroded stub pipe disintegrated. It puts extra stress on both stub pipes. Today you can get silicone rubber hump hoses. This one by Samco has the largest bulge I could find, although still a compromise. I know of 2 ACs with these. Most of these hoses are bright blue, but I got hold of a couple of black ones. They are in short supply since they are handmade and come with a lifetime guarantee. Some new chrome fittings for the bonnet. I also have some fasteners such as these square quarter Whitworth nuts. Brass 3BA screws for the fuel gauge sender, a fastener set for the front grille including aircraft style floating anchor nuts with 4BA threads, more special aircraft fasteners, thin self-locking nuts and double coil spring washers for the rear mechanical brake expanders, some stainless 2BA screws and nylocks mainly for the accelerator link brackets on the bulkhead. Bottom radiator hose cut to length, plus the bypass hoses. And now some new old stock Timken bearings for the front wheels. These are the inner bearings. Expensive, but if you find old stock at bearing shops, you might be charged over £1,000 each. Coming very soon will be various rubber seals, mainly for windows on the saloons. I have also commissioned a batch of bonnet rubbers. These seem to be unique to AC saloons, and the only remake of them was 40 years ago by the club. Unfortunately, those were made to the wrong dimensions. They need to keep the rear of the bonnet flush with the scuttle. This is part of my 1949 original seal compared to the 1984 remake. For the outer seal on the windscreen, many AC owners have fitted an alternative type that was used by Morris 8s. The problem is that if the wipers park off the screen, they need a gentle ramp to slide over. The correct seal was only discontinued about 3 years ago. I inquired about a new production run, but it was way too expensive. So I found this near match. It has an extra ridge on the back which I can trim off by hand. From the front it looks perfect, and in this trimmed form fits perfectly. The quarter lights have 3 different seals on them. For the main one I bought this droopy T shape and will trim one side off to make it an L shape. At the bottom of the quarter light is a P seal which will need a sponge rubber cord to go inside it. The top seal has to be hand cut from one of these T seals, the same type as used along the main door window. I've ordered seals for the rear side window. This is for the earlier ACs with fixed side windows. The seal for the later ACs is not available except from the Owners Club stock. I have one of these, and at 40 years old these more modern repros last very well. Seals are made from EPDM rubber now. The rear window poses a slight challenge. You can buy similar looking seals for 1/4 inch glass and 1/8 inch glass. The AC has 3/16 inch glass. This seal for the 1/8 inch has the correct external dimensions, so I will see if it is possible for me to widen the channel. I might need to make a jig. The boot lid uses this sponge rubber channel section. It was originally held on with brass beading filled with lead, about 5.5mm wide. You can buy a wider version of the metal beading from Paul Beck Vintage, but it is very expensive. I'm also not sure how one makes the tight sideways bend in it. If you are not bothered about originality, an alternative fixing might be better. The spare wheel door had a seal around the upper region, made from very thin sheet rubber backed by cloth. This was then folded over a length of sponge rubber cord. The cloth does not last long. I bought some neoprene sheet ready to fold over some cord. One advantage of buying seals from me is that most places sell them by the metre. Materials for the AC are often just over a whole number of metres, wasting money and materials. Now to check out a few of the second-hand items. A pair of reline brake shoes for the rear mechanical brakes. Edge beading for the rear wing rubber pads. Original door handle. Many ACs have lost these. Window winders. Sadly, only one left of these amazing repros of the door rollers. Machined out of solid aircraft alloy versus the cast ink alloy originals. The engineer responsible has passed away, and these would probably cost a fortune to make again. Quarter light knob control. Lock striker plate. An ether-filled temperature gauge which I have calibrated. Merlin Garrington spanner for the toolkit. Number plate lamps in need of some TLC. Rotary switch for the panel lights. If you are an AC owner, please be patient as my initial range of spares is quite small. I want to check that the new online store is working smoothly before I gradually build up the inventory. I also want to gauge the demand for different parts so that I can stock up on those items as necessary. I think I'm the first to do direct online sales of AC spares. The credit for this lovely web design goes to Zencart. Let's see where this venture goes. Many thanks for watching and listening.